Hello and welcome to Ready Set Demo from Elizabeth's Craft Room for another of our fancy folds, and this one is the 4-panel card with a floating screen. It's got little feet that it stands on and a floating screen on the front, and really there's not very much to demonstrate with this one. It kind of speaks for itself, but it can be a really effective card. I will show you obviously a completed one at the end, but I just wanted to show you how simple this is to teach. You could just do this for complete beginners, could make this card, and it does look really rather fancy. So let me show you a couple of bits and pieces, a couple of hints and tips on this one. First thing you need is your piece of cardstock. This is 11 by 5.5. You can do this 12 by 12 and split it into 4 sections of 3. But the thing with that is just our availability of 12 by 12 cardstock is so much more limited. So being able to do it with our standard US letter or A4 cardstock works better. So 11 by 5.5 is what I've gone for. And then we are scoring. I can find my scoring tool. We are scoring at 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4 to make our panels. And then I'm turning it and I am scoring at 1 and, let me just double check, that's what we're doing. We're scoring, I'm doing it the other way around, so I've said at 4 1/4 on the short side. Okay. Now there are a number of different punches that you can use to make the legs. You'll get a different effect if you use something like the Pretty label, but I particularly like this one. This is Everyday label, and that is just a perfect little kind of foot effect that you're getting with these. Now you can wing it by just popping your Everyday label punch in and just going halfway down. That is, and you're going to just look to make sure your punch is central between those two pieces. So it's just a little overlap either side. Or if you don't want to wing it, you're going to mark it. And you're going to do that by measuring either end up from the bottom at 5/8 of an inch roughly. So measure each way, put your ruler across for those two measurements, 5/8 of an inch up, and then make a little mark, 1 2 3 4, which I've already done in pencil on there, and then that will give you the height that you want to go to roughly. And then all you're doing is watching the top, making sure that that's central each time. So I'm going up to that height about halfway. I'm using my pencil line. I'm moving along, making sure we're level there, and punching again, and we do it again, and again. As I say, you can wing it or you can measure, but either way you should get nice even feet there. And that is as simple as making that card is. Now we do want to put a floating panel on. You don't have to put a floating panel on it, but you can do. If you're going to do that, decorate the back first. Now whether that's by stamping a scene is really nice on this one, using designer series paper panels and stamping on those, or putting layers on if you wish. So decorative panels. If you're doing one layer, perhaps with designer series paper like this, you want 4 pieces of 4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And if you want to layer up and put another layer, you want 4 pieces of 3 3/4 by 2 inches. Now we come to this little floating panel. Now the size for this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. by 2.5, 2.5 by 2.5 are our 2 layers. Obviously you would stamp this first before you put it on. But what you want to do is you want it to be about halfway between the first 2 panels. So you want that to be fairly central on the first 2 panels, but you are only sticking on the left hand side. So you're only sticking there. And what I would suggest is dimensionals work quite nicely for this. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on there. And just, again, you can measure or you can eyeball it. I think that looks about right. And there you go. And there is your floating panel. Now you can fold this in half and put it into a 6x6 envelope, because that will fit nicely into a 6x6. But if you've got a regular envelope, whether there's the regular US size or the regular A4 size, your card will fit like that. So just fold all the panels in and your card will fit just fine into a regular envelope. The US ones, I believe, are a little bit wider than ours, so if it fits ours, it will fit the US letter envelopes as well. So a really pretty card design. That is number 43, the 4-panel screen card with a floating front. So let's have a look at the floating panel card example projects that I made. And here it is. I did it in thick whisper white, and I really love how this came out. Now the only thing I'm missing at the time of filming is I realised I was using this paper and the green that's in here is the shaded spruce, and I don't have shaded spruce blends. So at the time of filming I'm waiting for those to be delivered, but I thought you'd forgive me. And actually, in a way, I actually quite like it with the white leaves because it picks up the white elsewhere. So, but anyway, you know, that wasn't really intentional. The stamps that I've used come from Christmas Gleaming. And now I have kept this fairly simple. You could sort of stamp a view across the back on the panels using something like Snowfront or Waterfront, both of which would make a lovely, you know, any time of year card. But I just decided, I put a little bit of the rest of the greeting and Be Jolly on the back to write. I just decided to keep this very simple and sort of sophisticated look, and that's how it stands, and obviously it does fit into a regular envelope. So I hope you like this simple project. Thank you for visiting Ready Set Demo from Elizabeth's Craft Room, and I look forward to welcoming you back again soon.